Hey folks, I'm going to do a wee, hopefully reasonably quick but hopefully informative demo showing all three pedals hooked up to the editor, which you should see just there. So that's three pedals connected, and that's them there on the board. So I've got MIDI in going to the big sky, and it's passing MIDI through all the way through to the Mobius, which has got MIDI out, and all three pedals at the moment I've got a bypass preset selected, so it's just pretty much just straight sound of the guitar. I'm just going into a bass amp at the moment. All my amps are in the studio, so this is just not the bestest of sounds, but it will do to kind of demonstrate how you can use the editors with all three pedals at the same time, come up with some cool sounds. So I've got a wee chord progression. Nothing to it, it's just G and C, pretty straightforward, but I'm going to try and tart it up a wee bit. So I fancy some kind of organ sound I'm hearing in my head, so I'm going to try and see if I can get there. So I think I'm going to try a wee kind of mild phaser on through the Mobius. It's a wee bit more on the depth, I think. Take the level down, but a bit more depth. Slow it down a bit, and tiny wee bit of regeneration. So. Let's hear how that sounds with the progression. So I'm going to close that, and I'm not saving it, I'm just closing it. So one of the changes I made, I should have mentioned this before, but when you open up a new preset from the menu or key commands, I've changed it so that it will just pull whatever's in the buffer of the pedal, which makes more sense to me rather than having everything set to empty and changing what's already in the pedal. So that's quite handy. So I'm not going to save this, I'm going to close it, and I'm now going to try and do something with Big Sky on top of that to get closer to that organ kind of sound I'm hearing. So I'm hearing a kind of pedal, kind of the steel drummy kind of sound, so shimmer I think is probably handy for that. So it's go for an octave and 2 octaves. And let's see, I like the regen, it gives that steel drum kind of sound. So if I up the input, up the mix to about half, just under half, and turn the decay down and the pre-delay right down, should get somewhere in the vicinity. Tone and mod, I'm just going to turn right down now. It's kind of more what I'm thinking. Phaser gives the shimmers kind of a bit of a swirly kind of effect, which is quite nice. So. Nicer, do something with that. So let's get rid of that. Now I can go totally over the top and mess around with the timeline. So quite fancy again, something, maybe a filter just to make it sound really stupid. So, and I have done it, I've played around with this before, so this is not totally off the cuff, so I'm kind of cheating a wee bit. So let's get post location. Just bung the filter right up. That's more like it. Just taking a bit of the edge off that. Just put the mix up a wee bit, take the repeats down a wee bit more. Bypass the big sky and see if I prefer it without the shimmer. It loses a lot there. Filter's okay, but I think I prefer it with just the shimmer. Let's take the filter off. Maybe if we take... Oh, it's quite nice though. Let's take the mix down a wee bit so it's not as dominant and take the repeats down a wee bit more. And maybe get a bit more top end back from the filter. So now I'm going to see how the Mobius changes things if I've got a bit of dirt on it. So I'm going to go to my SL drive, which has not got too much dirt on it at the moment. So I'm just going to put that on. So there's a wee bit of gain for the SL drive. Take the tone down a wee bit so it's not too harsh. And we'll see how the pre and the post changes things on the Mobius, on the on the phaser. So pre, so let's go to post. So much more dominant phaser sound there. Go back to pre. I think I actually preferred it on pre. I mean, it's one of those things that pre and post so cool because you can really totally change the sound and it'll work good on one sort of idea on pre and one will work better maybe on another idea on post. You have to just mess around with it. Take a wee bit of the gain down on the SL drive and put the wee bit of the tone back up. Cool. So hopefully that gives a wee bit of an idea of what can be done with all three together. I'm just messing around. I've been doing a few other things, so hopefully once I've got it released and the firmware's come out, other folks can have a bash as well. So hope that's been useful. Cheers.